Welcome back. Yes. Another great video from Morocco Method International, and today we have our guests honored, as always, Laurel. Thank you for being here and giving your expertise, advice, and great insights, and dialoguing back and forth.
Well, thank you. I keep learning, and it's delightful, and I use the products. I'm happy. I learn more. I improve, and Morocco Method starts to penetrate your whole life. When you're thinking about what you're putting on your skin, your scalp skin, and your hair, and what's getting into your bloodstream, you start thinking about what you're eating, and it's nothing but healthy. Nothing but healthy. There was something that people have been asking me about, though, and I wanted to check in with you, because obviously with your background of 40 years in hairstyling, going back to Kenneth's of New York, which is, wow, that's really iconic. There's a lot of talk about these hair transplants and the laser treatments for growing hair, and I wanted you to expound at length on what you think of the transplants and these laser treatments.
Yeah, really good question. So that's really a shocking conversation that I will basically start unraveling. So first of all, to start with the very nitty-gritty of what's happening with the transplants, is that every hair follicle is attached to a nerve ending in our brain. So every hair follicle literally touches and is connected to.
Under our skin.
Yeah, through through our nervous system. That they're connected to the nerve ending of the brain, which operates the entire body. And then, of course, if you want to get into another medical physical explanation, is the Taoists now, the Qigong masters are explaining how our hair stores the Qi. And the hair is 5 types of hair on the body. So what's happening is that the hair is mysterious. But also, if you want to get down to like the scientific structure of what we're talking about, which we're trying to, because it's very complicated, so I'm going to try to make it very simple.
Good.
That when you take a hair transplant, you take a plug of a grouping of hair, which is the roots, the hair follicle, everything, and you take it out surgically.
And there's a chunk of skin too, right?
Yeah.
It's like taking a plant out with its roots. Okay.
Yeah, and some soil and everything to go with it.
Okay.
Like a whole chunk of plant. You pull the whole plant out of the ground.
And the derma, the skin attached to it. Okay.
Yes, if you visually can see that. And then you take it and they actually surgically plant it into wherever the hair is thinning, usually the hairline, the crown, the top of the hair, someplace where it's thinning.
Right.
Now what you've done is you've literally disconnected all these nerve endings to the brain from the hair.
Uh-oh.
And then that's bad enough. But now you've taken them and plugged them into another area that they don't belong.
Uh-oh. Wow.
So if you can somehow, it's a very difficult conversation. We somehow basically imagine that happening and visualizing or feeling those things happening.
Well, it's maybe like a switchboard operator. The old type switchboards, they probably don't even have them anymore. But if they put all the wrong connections,
exactly, thank you,
then your nervous system and your synapses and all of that
miscommunication.
Oh my gosh, what you're
miscommunication.
Doing, you're not only short-circuiting, you're bad circuiting your brain. Then is what
confusing the thought patterns.
And people don't know this.
Oh, it's very rare that I've ever heard anybody explain the the actuality of what transplants really do.
Oh my gosh. And
I've worked with transplants patients for about, I'm going to say 25 years.
And what did you see?
Well, I literally had, because when I was down in Laguna Beach, I was word of mouth. Clients would be able to come in, and they would fly in from all over the world, these hair transplant clients, poor clients, and they would say, I've had migraine headaches for 4, 8, 12 weeks, months at a time.
Oh.
And that was normal, and that's something they never discuss with hair transplants. They don't discuss, you know, the ramifications of the dangers of it, but migraine headaches is one of. And then, of course, when I discovered about the nerve endings, the hair being all connected to the brain and vice versa, disconnecting it and plugging it someplace else, I started realizing, oh my God, so no wonder they're getting migraine headaches.
Oh.
The poor brain is trying to reevaluate and reassess and reconstruct something that's really amiss.
Can you imagine what that does to your neurological system? Oh my gosh.
So, you know, this I've never heard from any doctor. I've never heard this from any, you know, public news media. You'll never see this on TV. You'll never see this in the newspaper. You'll never read about it. You know, but these things really are a fact. And I think if you can Google it, and of course Montauk Chia, okay, here we go. So Montauk Chia, he's written libraries. He's our Qigong master in the world today in Taoist. But Golden Elixir Qigong, here, Master Chia is basically explaining how all of this Qi from the universe coming down first touches the 5 types of hair, stores in the hair.
Qi being the life force energy.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, life, like, you know, or what is Qi, what is life force energy? Well, what's this? I mean, what's doing this? You know, how am I talking right now? And how do I get up and sit down? And how do we move? Well, that's life force. So that's a mystery. I don't think it's really documented.
Right.
You know, I've heard spiritual masters say that the body moves 30,000 times faster than thought.
Really?
Gurdjieff, actually a Sufi master, has said this, and it's written down. And he's also said that emotions are 30,000 times faster than the movement of the body.
Wow.
And a simple explanation is, well, drive a car and think. So you're going to be in the car and you're going to think, well, now I'm going to take my right arm, I'm going to go over here, I'm going to turn the key on. Okay, now my right arm has to come back and be put on the wheel. So that's not so bad. Then I pick up my right foot and I step on the accelerator. But now get on the highway at, 55 miles an hour, and cars are coming at you. And now think, you can't do any of that until you actually think of how to do that. 30,000 times faster the body moves than our thought. So by taking the thing with the transplants, by literally disconnecting and reconnecting and recircuiting all of these plugs.
You're destroying the wiring of your brain.
Yes.
Oh boy.
And the entire, and of course everything's holistic, so it's not that the brain is separate from the rest of us. It's not that thought is separate from the rest of us. It's not that the body's moving and the thought's moving and the emotions are moving. All of these things are moving holistically, in harmony, and this is disharmonized.
And that's the great gift. And for the sake of
life itself.
Vanity, it's destroying that gift. And that's really too bad. And a lot of people don't know that they're doing that because, as you say, they don't inform about what the price you really pay of hair transplants.
And I've been contacted by some of the biggest hair transplant companies in the world, personally, have contacted me and said, would I private label my products? To hair transplant, I'm not going to mention their names, but the big ones. And I said, never. First of all, I will never, ever private label any of my products. They say Morocco Method 5 elements, and that's the only place you can buy them. And second of all, I would never consider endorsing such a procedure.
Out of the question, of course.
Out of the question. Money doesn't exist. No. It's not. It's a question of integrity. And 40 years of my life work has stood for health, educating people, making people aware of how we can take further steps to become healthy. And our product line represents everything that Morocco Method represents me.
That's right.
In my evolution of time, this is my passion, my entire life, and this is my art form. This is my canvas, this is my painting I present to the world.
It's your legacy.
Yes.
Absolutely.